And now, Mike's thoughts. Myles Garrett has officially requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. Myles Garrett says he wants to win, aka go to a team to win a Super Bowl, to win a playoff game, hell, to even make it the AFC Championship game or NFC Championship game. He wants out. The Cleveland Browns have said it once, and they'll say it again, and they're sure they'll say it again, but they are not interested in trading Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett does have 2 years left on his contract with a $19.7 million cap hit in 2025. So when we think about the Cleveland Browns and we think of Myles Garrett's situation, we have to date back to when the Cleveland Browns decide, hey, Baker Mayfield's not our guy. Insert Deshaun Watson. Crazy astronomical deal by Deshaun. Crazy astronomical trade by the Cleveland Browns to the Houston Texans. And it's clear right now that the Cleveland Browns have no clear direction. They have no direction. They don't know if they're going north, south, east, or west. Hell, they could even be going northeast or southeast, and they wouldn't even know. The simple fact of the matter is there will be a market out there for one of the greatest defensive ends in the game. There will be a market out there, and a very, very high market for Myles Garrett. Some teams that instantly come to mind: the Washington Commanders, the Detroit Lions, the Buffalo Bills, hell, maybe even the Kansas City Chiefs. They all should be on the phone with the Cleveland Browns right now saying, hey, what is it going to take to get Myles Garrett off of your hands? Guys, what it comes down to is that Myles Garrett is not happy. Myles Garrett is 29 years old. Myles Garrett gave his life to the Cleveland Browns, and they've given them nothing in return. At the end of the day, Cleveland Browns need to let Myles Garrett go. At the end of the day, the Cleveland Browns need to understand that they have no clear direction, that they're not even going to be competing for a championship anytime soon, and they're just not that damn good. So Cleveland Browns, do us all a favor, do Myles Garrett a favor, do your franchise a favor, trade the man, and rebuild. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw, steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off, get it hype. This man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really wanna try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest, nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckheischer here with the Man Hour. Go to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page, or check out the blog section as well, guys. But if you're new here, if you're liking the stream, hit the like button. If you're hating the stream, hit the angry emoji. But either way, interact with the show, guys. It's a live interactive show, and share it with a couple friends, because sharing is caring at the end of the day. But it is Monday, guys. It is Super Bowl week. It is February 3rd, 2025 at 9:05 right here on the East Coast time. But guys, we are going to dive into some NFL talk today. We are going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. Who is really closer to a Super Bowl? Is it the Lions or is it the Cowboys? That is the question that we're going to ask. Jamar Chase is looking for his new contract, and he's, quote, looking for what is fair. Guys, Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the NFL. Jamar Chase is going to get that $130 million contract. But is his time in Cincinnati done? We're going to talk about that. The Las Vegas Raiders, they are going on a hiring crazy. They're hiring Pete Carroll. They're hiring Chip Kelly. They're hiring this person. This person. But can they make a legit run in 2025? Can the Las Vegas legitimately win more than 5 games next season in the 2025 NFL season? And then we're going to dive into some Super Bowl talk, guys. Is it time to talk about Jalen Hurts as being one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time? Is he needing some more credit than he actually deserved? Xavier Worthy, he's going to have the X Factor game, and right. Kansas City's offense versus the Eagles defense. Who wins that game? What And then, of course, we got buy or sell, guys. We got a little buy, a little bit of sell. Chiefs chasing Henrys. We're going to talk about Bryce Young. We're going to talk about flag football. What? Yes, I know, flag football. And we got to talk about Sam Darnold going back to the Minnesota Vikings. And then a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. That's why we end the show with a little bit of fact, a little bit of crap. Will a defensive player win the MVP? That is the question that we're going to ask. Is D-Hop going to be the X factor? Is Drake Maye going to be a New England Patriot next season? And are we getting tired of Snoop Dogg? Like, legit. Are we getting tired of Snoop Dogg? He's being jammed down our throats. Are we tired of seeing him? Are we tired of hearing talking about him? We're going to talk about that as well. But if you want to get too carried away, guys, we got to welcome some people in the chat because this is a live, interactive show. I see all the comments. We try to interact as much as we can. We got Laura Johnson-Herrick in the chat today. She is the pigskin pundit, guys. Laura's clicked on the subscribe button down below, and she gets a free t-shirt. She gets behind-the-scenes footage, a little bit of after hours, a little bit of foreshadowing, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. There's a lot of stuff happening. What's up, Laura? What's up? A-Track Freestyle B-Boy crew says hip-hop. Nice. Yes, Freestyle B-Boy. I am I'm not a hip-hop head, but I like all genres of music, but hip-hop kind of gets the blood turking, right? Laura says, it's my birthday week. Well, happy birthday, Laura. Welcome to the 50-year-old club. I'm just kidding. We got my man John Setter in the chat as well. He says, good evening, everybody. Sorry I haven't been around in forever. John, I understand you were licking your wounds from that loss, from the one and done from the Detroit Lions, but it's okay, baby. It is okay. We understand that sometimes you just got to go into hiding and like, damn, Buck was right about my team. Man, I'm always right. Casey Morgan's in the chat today, and Sue, what's up, Casey? Casey's a pigskin pundit as well. What's up, Casey? What's up? We got my man Alpha Rob in the chat today as well. Alpha Rob, listen. If you're on Facebook, Alpha Rob, go over to the Facebook page, and your Buffalo Bills are being drugged through the mud. Not by me, not by the Man Hour crew, but everybody is hating on the Buffalo Bills. I'm just sorry to spoil your alert, but guys, head over to facebook.com/Man Hour NFL Talk, and you know exactly what I am talking about. And Laura says, go Kansas City. Oh, for people that are new here, Laura is an everydayer. Laura is a pigskin pundit. Laura is not a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Laura is actually a Kansas City Chiefs hater. And I believe Laura is rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs because she wants them to lose that bad. Because every team that Laura has rooted for this postseason has lost. The Packers, the Vikings, the Lions, the Texans, the Broncos, the Chargers, the list goes on and on. Everybody that Laura has rooting for, they have lost. Too soon, Laura. Too soon. Golden Hour Study says, LOL, what? What are you talking about? Golden Hour Study says, yeah, this was pre-recorded from a year ago. No, it wasn't. We are live, raw, uncut every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. This is not pre-recorded. I guarantee you that, buddy. Casey Morgan says, Snoop finished the main quest. He just a side quest now. Listen, I'm getting tired of Snoop Dogg getting jammed down my throat. I'm getting tired of it. And Alpha Rob says, yeah, I've been tired of Snoop for about years now. Listen, not wrong. Laura, one more chat here, says, dang, it's too soon, Buck. You be putting that 50 club on me. Laura, you are closer to 50 than you are 40. I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. And John says, I'm never hiding, big dog. Lions coming in hot and taking it next season. John, and that is a perfect way to start. John says, I'm never hiding, big dog. The Lions are coming in hot and taking it next season. So, John, we got to talk about your Detroit Lions, and we got to talk about the Super Bowl favorites for 2025 and the freaking Dallas Cowboys. Guys, as you guys know, the Dallas Cowboys have finally gotten their new head coach. They got their new offensive coordinator. They got their new defensive coordinator. They're getting the coaching staff put together, right? Stephen Jones was talking to the media bowl last Thursday at the Senior Bowl, and he said the Cowboys are pretty close. The Cowboys are pretty close to putting everything together and winning the Super Bowl. So then I got to ponder some thoughts. Then I got to start pondering. I'm like, man, are the Dallas Cowboys really closer to the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions are? Because as you guys know, the Detroit Lions, right, they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. The Detroit Lions are to the moon, baby. The Detroit Lions are this player away. Hell, they should have won it last year if it wasn't for injuries and bad play calling and going for it on fourth down and not having a kicker or a quarterback or a receiver. You guys get the drift. But when we look at these two rosters and we look at the rosters on paper, guys, I got to ask the question. Are the Dallas Cowboys closer to the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions? Let that marinate. Let that sink in. Let's think about this logically. Because when you look at the Dallas Cowboys roster, they have a top 5 receiver in the NFL. The Detroit Lions do not. St. Brown is close, but he is not top 5. CeeDee Lamb is top 5. The Dallas Cowboys have a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. The Detroit Lions do not. The Dallas Cowboys have a top 5 edge rusher in the NFL. The Detroit Lions do not. The Dallas Cowboys, they have won Super Bowls. The Detroit Lions have not. The Lions had success last season, yes. The Detroit Lions came out and won 15 games last season, yes. I understand that. But they had the 18th easiest schedule in the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys had 7 wins last season, yes, I understand that. They had the 20th hardest schedule in the NFL and still came out with 7 wins with a backup quarterback for over half of the season. Guys, think about this. The Detroit Lions lost their star offensive coordinator and their star defensive coordinator as well in the same season. Yes, I understand the Cowboys did as well, but they did that by their own choice, not by getting plucked away. The last time a NFC team both lost their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator in the same season after having success in the NFL, making it to the postseason, they were a first-round exit. So, guys, the logic is there that the Dallas Cowboys are closer to the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions. The logic is there that the Dallas Cowboys will win a Super Bowl or actually even go to a Super Bowl before the Detroit Lions. You guys can say all you want about this, and this. Dan Campbell, risk it, no biscuit, bite kneecaps, all the grit, whatever. But the truth of the matter is that the Detroit Lions shit the bed when it matters the most. Not a top 5 receiver, not a top 5 edge rusher, not a top 5 quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys have all of those guys. Plus, they have a hungry head coach. Plus, they got a hungry offensive coordinator. Plus, the front ownership or the front office understands like, hey, we know we haven't been the best in the world, but we've been drafting pretty well. So, guys, let me ask this question. Are the Dallas Cowboys closer to the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions? Let me know in the comments below. John says, we had a great team and some great drafts in the years past, and F the Cowboys. Listen here, John. The Dallas Cowboys have had 13-win seasons. The Dallas Cowboys have had 14-win seasons. The Dallas Cowboys repeatedly make the playoffs year after year after year. Last year was a fluke. Let's just be honest about it. The Dallas Cowboys have also been nailing the draft. Was the issue Mike McCarthy? Is the issue Jerry Jones? We don't really know. I guess we'll find out this season when the Dallas Cowboys go to the Super Bowl. When the Dallas Cowboys knock out the Detroit Lions in the first round, and when the Dallas Cowboys go beat the Commanders in the divisional round, and then when the Dallas Cowboys go out there and beat the Eagles like baby back bitches in the championship round, we're going to understand who team drafts better, who coaching's better, right? And John says, how do we not have a top 5 edge rusher? Hutch is for sure. Hutch is not a edge rusher. He's a straight-up defensive end. When's the last time you saw Aiden Hutchinson drop back in coverage? Aiden Hutchinson is not an edge rusher. And then, even at defensive end, he's not even top 5 then. Slow it down, John. Slow it down. Josh says no. And the Lions will be much better than the Cowgirls next season and will blow them out again 47-9. Josh, how will the Detroit Lions be so much better than the Dallas Cowboys next season? The Dallas Cowboys are going to nail this draft. I have insider information. I've called down there and spoke to Deuce Vaughn's dad himself and said, yeah, we're going to nail this draft. We're going to draft a running back. We're going to draft a backup quarterback. We're going to add some depth to the offensive line. Bada bing, bada boom, to the moon, baby. Listen, I don't care about your 47-9 last season. That's last season, right? Remember, you still got to report eligible, Josh. Still got to report eligible. Dallas Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. Casey says, it's the same every year with the postseason hits. Cowboys, Chargers don't make the playoffs or eliminated in the first round. And all we hear about is how the Chargers are the Super Bowl favorites next year after week after one win or lose to the Cowboys as Super Bowl favorites. Casey, this year's different, baby. This year's different. The Dallas Cowboys are closer to the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions. Now, I'm not saying it's 2025. Hell, I'm not saying it's 2026. I'm not saying it's 2030. Hell, I'm not saying it's 2040. But I guarantee you the Dallas Cowboys will win a Super Bowl before the Detroit Lions do. John says the Cowboys blank the bed when they hit the playoffs every year for the last 30. And John, that is true. They have not done all that great in the playoffs. You are 100% correct. What have your Lions done in the playoffs? One NFC championship game? Congratulations. Congratulations. No, they now. The Lions are now, Alpha Rob? Are you saying the Lions are now? Slow it down, baby. Spooner Man's back in the chat today. What's up, Spooner Man? He says, I just got into the NFL as a 500 string head coach. Let's go. Let's go. But guys, the question is, are the Dallas Cowboys closer to the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions? I'm saying yes. I am saying yes. Next up on the rundown today, we got to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. We got to talk about Jamar Chase and the Cincinnati Bengals. As you guys know, last offseason, the GM/ownership, I'm not for sure who it was, but somebody dangled that carrot in front of Jamar Chase. They're saying, hey, we want to give you a contract. Jamar Chase did not approach them. Jamar Chase did not threaten to sit out. Jamar Chase did a whole lot of nothing but want to go out there and play football and play out his contract. But front office like, hey, we want to pay you. We want to do this. And Jamar Chase was very, very honest and very, very open about what he wanted. He said he wanted 1 penny more than JJ. He wanted 1 penny more than Justin Jefferson, which at the time, or right now, is the highest paid receiver in the NFL. Now, at the Pro Bowl, Jamar Chase was asked about his contract situation in Cincinnati. Jamar Chase said, and I quote, he is looking for what is fair in a new contract. So, guys, we got to ask the question, is Jamar Chase's time in Cincinnati done? Is Jamar Chase's time in Cincinnati done? Is he going to find a new team that's going to overpay for him? When you guys look at Jamar Chase, he finished the season with 1,700 yards and 17 touchdowns. He is clearly a top 3, if not a top 2 receiver in the NFL. The best receiver in the NFL, Justin Jefferson, had 1,500 yards last season with 13 touchdowns. He's making $110 million over the next 4 years. CeeDee Lamb, arguably a top 3 receiver, top 5 receiver in the NFL as well. Last season, he had just south of 1,200 yards. He finished with 1,194 yards with 6 touchdowns. He's making $100 million over the next 4 years. And then when you start going down the list, A.J. Brown's making $84 million. DJ Moore's making $81 million. Amon-Ra St. Brown's making $77 million with the Detroit Lions. He should be paid north of $110 million over the next 4 seasons. He should be the highest paid receiver in the NFL. And he will be the highest paid receiver in the NFL. Now, guys, Jamar Chase does have a club option for 2020-25, which the Cincinnati Bengals will exercise. Right? He'll get paid $22 million next season. But after that, he's a free agent. After that, he's out to go there, explore with any other team. After that, basically, guys, right now should have got the time for the Cincinnati Bengals. Guys, is Jamar Chase's time in Cincinnati done? Guys, I said this last season when they dangled that carrot just a little bit in front of his face. I knew right then and there his time in Cincinnati was done. As Jamar Chase is a great talent. Jamar Chase is a top 3, if not top 2, if not one of the best receivers in the NFL. Matter of fact, if I'm putting top 5 in my head, I'm putting Jamar Chase at number 1 and then JJ number 2, if we want to be blatantly honest about it, right? Guys, Cincinnati is cheap. Cincinnati just recently built an indoor practice facility for their team a couple years ago. They make the players walk across the street to practice every day. Of course, it's like it's cool or whatever, but they're cheap. Cincinnati Bengals want to win, but at a cheap cost. They want to exercise their money, and they don't want to pay their players. I'm really surprised that Joe Burrow got paid. But that was the beginning of the end. Guys, Jamar Chase is finished in Cincinnati. After the 2025 season, actually, even if he plays the 2025 season, he could say, I want a contract now, or I'm not going to play, do the whole T.O. holdout thing and demand a trade, or the Antonio Brown type of situation. There's going to be some players out there for him. There are going to be people that are be willing to pay $110, $120, $130 million for Jamar Chase for the next 4 or 5 years. That's just the way it is. Jamar Chase is done in Cincinnati. Cincinnati should have kept Tyler Boyd last season. They got T. Higgins still. They better re-sign him, or they're going to lose him too. Guys, the Cincinnati Bengals Super Bowl window is absolutely closed now because they're going to lose Higgins. They're probably going to lose Chase, and Joe Burrow's all they got. If Joe Burrow is the real, true MVP, we'll see what they can do next season. Because I think Jamar Chase is done in Cincinnati. Well, what do you guys think? Is he done in Cincinnati? Pepe's in the chat. What's up, Pepe? He says, Jerry Jones continues to prove it that Jimmy Johnson was all time. I agree with that, by the way. James says, well, if my Lions get Myles Garrett, they are Super Bowl favorites next season. We will see. Not my Lions, by the way. I meant his Myles Garrett. Oh, my bad. Casey Morgan says Chase is just jealous of JJ. Is it jealousy or knowing your worth, right? So me, for example, like, I know my worth. I have turned down opportunities because they're like, oh, we'll give you $100 here, or $100 there, or 90,000 here. Like, I know what I'm worth, right? I worked my ass off to get to this point. I know what I'm worth. Just pay me, right? The problem with this is the Cincinnati Bengals asked what he wanted. And he said, I wanted 1 cent more than Justin Jefferson. That is all he wanted, was 1 cent more. $110 million and 1 cent. Bengals were like, no. How about this? He's like, this is what I want. No. Shut it down. James Frank says Jamar is the number 2 receiver in the league. You can go 1 or 2, right? But either way, he's a top 2 receiver in the league. CeeDee Lamb, the second highest paid receiver in the league, $100 million. JJ, the number 1 highest paid receiver in the league, $110 million. You know where the market's at. 4 years, $110 million. You know where the market's at. Pay him. It's simple as that. Pepe is saying Jamar is going to be over $30 million per year. The Bengals are going to pay him, and they will regret it until the next rebuild. Listen, if the Bengals pay Jamar Chase the $35 million a season, whatever it breaks down to be, they are in a world of hurt. To me, they don't seem like a smart enough front office to learn how to kick the can down the road, right? When the Kansas City Chiefs signed that, 10-year, $500 million contract for Patrick Mahomes, 6 years ago now, right? It seems forever ago. But people are like, oh my God, they're going to be so broke. No, they know how to kick the can down the road. Everything's back end loaded. They know how to work the money. Signing bonuses, this, and this. And I'm not for sure if the Bengals know how to do that. I don't know. Josh said Chase is better than Jefferson. I agree with that. Darcy says, did the cat lick you off your beard? No, my kids did. James Frank says, where do you think Myles will end up? Commanders. John says, Lions haters, brother. I'm not a Lions hater. I'm just Lions realist. Dallas Cowboys will win the Super Bowl before the Detroit Lions. Jonas says, I hope not. Jonas, aren't you a Steelers fan? You would hope they want Jamar Chase out of there, right? Alpha Rob says, if they pay Jace, their defense is going to be worse because they can't pay no one. And what's his name? Hendrickson is up for a contract next year. And he's already said that he wants out. So it's kind of weird, right? Pepe says the Bengals know tees belongs to golf courses. That's why Jamar Chase is getting paid. Listen, T. Higgins is a good guy. T. Higgins is the reason why Boyd and Jamar Chase had their success the previous couple seasons, right? T. Higgins is that underlying X factor type of guy, right? When D-Hop went to the Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce all of a sudden exploded because D-Hop was that underwritten guy. So far this postseason, he has 1 catch for 3 yards, right? But guess what? He's getting everybody else open because they still got to worry about D-Hop. That's who T. Higgins is. John says no, he will stay in Cincinnati. They will give him that bag. John, as I want to agree with you, I want to give the Cincinnati Bengals ownership front office credit, maybe a little bit, but I'm not for sure they will. Why would you dangle the carrot in front of him this offseason and then not pay him? All you did was you up the price, right? Just like when the Dallas Cowboys did not pay Dak Prescott at the beginning of the season, they went to week 14 or whatever the hell it was. That value went up and up, the price went up and up and up. Because then, boom, 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 got paid. Dude is a beast. I agree. Jamar Chase is a beast. And it's kind of like the what hand washes what hand, right? Because we talked about Joe Burrow being the real MVP of the league, right? We talked about Joe Burrow being the man, the myth, the legend. Should be the NFL MVP. But at the same price, or at the same time, where would Joe Burrow be without Jamar Chase? 1,700 yards this season. What was it? 16 touchdowns. That is a lot. That's damn near 2/3 of Joe Burrow's yardage this season. Darcy says, "Go Eagles." Imagine that. Casey says, "If they pay Chase and Burrow doesn't rework his contract, they are screwed." How much is winning? And so what it comes down to, Casey, Pepe, John, Laura, the rest of the people in the chat, Darcy, what it comes down to is what is more important to the Cincinnati Bengals or to those select few guys. Is it making those dollar bills, y'all, being the highest paid quarterback, being the highest paid this, and this, or is it actually winning championships? This offseason is going to tell everything that I need to know about the Cincinnati Bengals. Is it all about winning or is it all about championships? Pepe says, "Nah, dog, T is overrated." We will see. When T. Higgins goes to a team like the Steelers or a team like the Commanders or maybe the Ravens this offseason, we'll see how overrated he actually is. Darcy says, "Question, is the days of the pocket passers over? Off-script quarterbacks are the future." No, pocket quarterbacks will always be there. Off-scripts are all great and dandy, but pocket is where it's at. Look at the college game. Pepe says, "I bet the Raiders will be dumb enough to give T. Higgins the bag." Pepe, once the Raiders pay for Devontae Adams to come back and Dak Prescott trade, they're going to be pretty tapped out. Juna says, "Cincinnati is my favorite AFC team." Okay. I feel you, man. I feel you. Speaking of those Raiders, they coming in hot, aren't they? The Raiders are coming in hot. They're hiring this coach. They're hiring that GM. They're doing a little bit of this. They're doing a little bit of that. And as of yesterday, the Raiders have officially now hired Eagles and 49ers ex-head coaches Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator. Guys, Chip Kelly has kind of been around the league the last couple seasons, right? He was the head coach for 3 years at Philly, 1 year at San Francisco 49ers. He was a head coach for UCLA from 2018 to 2023 before becoming an OC at Ohio State and winning a national championship. Guys, the Raiders are in this complete rebuild mode. But can the Raiders make a legit run in 2025? Let's put this prefaces on a legit run. I'm talking about, let's just say, can they make the playoffs? Not even win a playoff game, not even be above 500. Can they just legitimately make the playoffs? That is the question. Guys, the Raiders have been attempting to make some splashes this offseason. They hired Pete Carroll as their head coach. They brought back their overrated average defensive coordinator, but hey, people are in love with him for whatever reason, and now they're bringing in Chip Kelly. Like I said, as a head coach for 4 years, Chip Kelly is 28-35 as a head coach. He went 26-21 in Philly and 2-14 in San Francisco. After leaving the NFL, he did serve as a head coach for UCLA from 2018 to 2023. Last season, he was the offensive coordinator for Ohio State, where they won the national championship. As you guys know, I coached several players that played on that national championship Ohio State team. Many of them did not like Chip Kelly. They were on the offensive side of the ball. In the process, they did fire Tom Telesco, their former GM, and they did promote John Spytek to their general manager after being assistant general manager for the Bucs in 2023. Now, guys, I do like a lot of these moves that the Raiders are moving this offseason. They are trying to get the front office in place and the coaching staff in place. You are bringing in a head coach that has a track record of doing good with rookie quarterbacks, i.e. Russell Wilson. And when you look at the Raiders' schedule next season, it's pretty favorable, right? Besides the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos, which is their division rivals, they play the Jaguars, Titans, Cowboys, Giants, Browns, Bears, Texans, Colts, Eagles, Commanders, and the Patriots next season. To me, it seems like a very, very winnable season. A very, very 8-win, 9-win type of season. Guys, the problem with the Las Vegas Raiders is they can bring in the head coach they want. They can bring the offensive coordinator. They can bring in the general manager. They can bring in the best defensive coordinator that they want. The point of the matter is they still got 3 issues. One, they're still the Las Vegas Raiders. They're a shit show franchise. Nobody respects them. Nobody wants, as a free agent, wants to go there to play. You have to prove it a little bit before I'm going to serve the last 4 or 5 years of my life or my NFL career in Vegas. Number 2, they still have no quarterback. I know you guys loved Gardner Minshew signing last season. I know you guys loved Aiden O'Connell last season. I told you guys it was trash. It was stupid. It was ass. I didn't even think that they could lead you to a 5-win season. 3 wins later, Buck was right. You guys still have no quarterback. Now, yes, we still have the draft to go through. Yes, we still have the offseason. We still have some trades to work out. Dak Prescott is still going to be in the black and silver by this time next season, probably, right? Guys, but the Raiders, I don't have any faith in the Raiders at all. I don't. Now, you can call me a homer, you can call me this, you can call me that, whatever you want. But the simple fact of the matter is the Raiders suck. They're a bad franchise. They're a bad organization. They have a bad roster. And bringing a 73-year-old man to coach you is not going to work. Right? It is just not going to work. Even if they did nail the draft. Let's say they nailed the draft and they get the Dart kid and he's having a Jaden Daniels type of season. You guys understand he's 73 years old. He's not going to be coach for the next 15 years, 10 years, hell, maybe even 5 years. Guys, the Raiders can't hire right. They can't produce players right. They can't elevate players right. They've been drafting okay. Give Brock Bowers a year, he will want out. Guys, the Raiders are not loading up. They're another losing franchise, and they're going to suck yet again. It is what it is. James Trez, I think the Raiders will make the playoffs. James, the Raiders have a favorable schedule. When you look at their schedule, obviously it's February. Offseason hasn't happened. Preseason hasn't happened. The draft hasn't even happened. But basing off the schedule from last season, right, they can beat the Jaguars, they can beat the Titans, they can beat the Browns, they can beat the Giants, they can beat the Bears, Texans, Colts, Patriots. Right there's 8 wins. So not even counting the division wins over the Broncos and Chargers, there's 8 wins. So yes, they could make the playoffs if everything holds true like it did last season, right? Juna says, no, the Raiders cannot make the playoffs in 2025. Too much competition in that division and the AFC overall. The AFC West is arguably the best division in the AFC. Yes, I understand the AFC North is loaded, but the Browns, I thought they had something, but they're nothing now. The Browns are nothing. They might re-sign Joe Flacco next season just because. The Steelers, as if they do not trade Mike Tomlin out of town, they're going to be another 500 team. And the Bengals could be one of the biggest surprises of being the worst team in the AFC next season. So I see what you're saying, but I don't agree. Josh says the Chiefs are the heroes of the NFL and the Raiders are the villains. I think you got that kind of flip-flop, right? The Kansas City Chiefs are definitely the villains now, Josh. Anybody that can beat the Kansas City Chiefs, like the Denver Broncos last season, they are the heroes. The Buffalo Bills are the heroes. The Raiders are just hated, right? Nobody wants to see the Raiders to be successful, honestly. It is what it is. Pepe says the Raiders give coaches 2 years and then realize they suck. Rinse and repeat. The Raiders are a dysfunctional mess. Not even Pete can fix that car wreck of an organization. And Pepe, let me add to that. Not even Tom Brady can fix the car wreck of this organization, right? They are worse than the Chicago Bears. At least the Bears give their coaches 3 years, right? And 2 quarterbacks. It is what it is. John says 100% right on about what Higgins is to Chase and Burrow. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Alpha Rob says the Raiders have no quarterback. But Alpha Rob, we signed Gardner Minshew to a 2-year, $40 million deal. We still have Aiden O'Connell. Don't forget about Desmond Ridder. Alpha Rob, point exactly. They have no freaking quarterback. James says, give them 1 win against my Browns. James, I feel sorry for you, man. I feel sorry for you. Pepe says the Raiders got 6 L's in their own division next year. Would not surprise me. However, Pepe, we know that the Raiders and Chiefs always play each other close. The Raiders seem to always split with the Broncos, too. Now, they usually sweep or get swept by the Chargers, but they'll get at least 1 win. Josh says, Pete Carroll is a great guy, but Rex Ryan would have been a good fit with the Raiders. What is the infatuation with like Rex Ryan? I understand he led the Jets to the AFC Championship, but was that really his team? I mean, yeah, he came in and was it 2 years after that they went to the AFC Championship game? But was it really his team? Because after that year, what did they do? 3 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins. They weren't very good. There's a reason why Rex Ryan got fired from the New York Jets. He wasn't very good. There's a reason why he didn't get hired again by the New York Jets. Just not very good. Derek says, let's go, Raiders. Let's go. Let's go, Raiders. Let go. But, guys, do you guys think the Raiders are loading up? Are you liking the moves? Chip Kelly, Pete Carroll, keeping their defensive coordinator. What's his name? Graham. What was his name? Graham something. Can't remember his last name. What do you guys think? Interesting. All right, guys, let's talk about some Super Bowl talk. Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Guys, happens Sunday night at 6:30 East Coast time. This is a rematch from just a couple years ago, 2022 NFL season. The Eagles lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in that Super Bowl, and it was Jason Kelce's final game as a Philadelphia Eagle. But Jason Kelce has been very vocal on local radio stations and on ESPN and a little bit of this and his podcast and whatever, yada, yada, yada. And he says, many people do not appreciate Jalen Hurts enough. Many people don't understand how good Jalen Hurts actually is. So, guys, when you hear that coming from Jason Kelce, a person that has played with Jalen Hurts, a person that is now a part of the media, and a person that understands being overvalued and underrated and overvalued and all that other stuff, right? Does Jalen Hurts, guys, deserve more credit for the Philadelphia Eagles' success? So far this postseason, guys, in 3 NFL games, Jalen Hurts has 505 yards passing, including a 245 game versus the Commanders just a couple weeks ago in the NFC Championship game. In this postseason, guys, he has 3 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. He also has 122 yards rushing as well. Now, this regular season, he didn't put up those monster stats, right? He didn't put up the 5,000 yards passing or 4,000 yards passing. Basically, guys, Jalen Hurts is a level 3,600 yard passing guy year in and year out until this year. Until this year, he was asked to really take a step back and we just hand the ball off, right? Now, as you guys know, Saquon Barkley has had a great year. 2,005 yards rushing in the regular season when he had 280 some yards so far this postseason. He just been a workhorse, right? He has been the man, the myth, the legend. But the reason why Saquon Barkley is having so much success in the regular season and this postseason is not because of the offensive line, not because of how great Saquon Barkley is. It's because of how great Jalen Hurts is. Without the threat of being able to throw the ball down the field, without the threat of being able to nickel and dime it down the field, without the threat of Jalen Hurts being able to keep the ball time in and time out, Saquon Barkley would not be having the type of success that he had this season. Guys, Jalen Hurts deserves a hell of a lot more credit than what he is getting for the Philadelphia Eagles' success this season. Jalen Hurts deserves a MVP award just by him understanding what it takes to win football games. Guys, have you ever once heard Jalen Hurts bitch and moan about not passing the ball enough? Have you ever once heard Jalen Hurts bitch, moan, and complain that he's taking too many hits? Have you ever heard Jalen Hurts complain about anything? Jalen Hurts is a man's man. He's a perfect quarterback for any NFL team out there. He does what he asks, and he does what he's told time and time again. Guy, Jalen Hurts is the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles have been successful the last 4 or 5 seasons. Jalen Hurts is the reason why they're having success this season. Jalen Hurts is the main reason why they're in the Super Bowl this season. Give the man credit where credit is due. So, guys, does Jalen Hurts deserve more credit of the Eagles' success this season? Let me know. James Frank says, very clear and to the point. He says, go Birds. Go Birds, go Birds. Oh, by the way, go Birds again. Pepe says, let me clear my throat and so the people in the back can hear me nice and clear. Chiefs 3 Pete. This is all you need to know about the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are going to win. It doesn't matter about the Saquon Barkleys. It doesn't matter about A.J. Brown or Jalen Carter or anybody this, McCole Beckman. It doesn't matter any of that. It's all about the Kansas City Chiefs 3-peat, baby. And Pepe, that's why I like you, man. That is why I like you. You are cut straight and to the point. It doesn't matter about the rushing game. It doesn't matter about defense. It doesn't matter about Jalen Hurts. It doesn't matter about the coach. It doesn't matter about the referees. It doesn't matter anything. The Chiefs win. Pepe, you're right. Casey says, I feel that he's overrated. And Casey, I'm glad you said that because I initially thought the same thing. Back in May or June, we were kind of tinkering with some things with like the pigskin pundits and like all that stuff. And I did film breakdown of Jalen Hurts. I was hell-bent of like saying that Jalen Hurts was not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And I said, yeah, he was he got paid way too early, right? He had 1 year of mediocre success, led him to the Super Bowl, but it was all because of A.J. Brown, this, and this. So I went back and I watched tape of Jalen Hurts. Over the last 4 seasons, I sit there. I watched the season before A.J. Brown and the season of A.J. Brown and the year 2023 season, right? We sat there. We broke down the film. Jalen Hurts does a lot of things. He does everything correct. His footwork is great. His arm strength is great. His reads are great. Yes, sometimes he does test ability a little bit, but when you sit down there and you actually watch the film, not from this season, but the previous seasons, Jalen Hurts is a really, really good quarterback. I would say, if anything, he's underrated, definitely undervalued, right? He got paid because he's a great leader, he's a great mentor, and he elevates the play around everybody around him. He does what he's asked, and he does things the right way. He is a true coach's son, which I believe his dad's a high school coach or something to that effect. But Jalen Hurts is a top quarterback in the NFL. He is not overrated. I think he's overlooked more than anything. Derek says their line coach deserves all the credit. I mean, obviously, you have to protect passing, right? You can open up runs for Saquon. I can see what you're saying. James Frank says that's 100% right, Buck. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that would do that. He has done what it takes to win. He is that dude. Guys, let me ask you this. Now, I'm a huge Patrick Mahomes fan, right? Obviously, I'm a Chiefs fan, right? And I want my quarterback to be successful. I think Patrick Mahomes would be the only other quarterback in the NFL that would be okay with doing what Jalen Hurts had to do this season. You put Jared Goff in that situation. You put Matthew Stafford in that situation. You put Dak Prescott in that situation. They would probably say the right things. They would probably do the right things. But I bet you behind closed doors, they're pissed, right? Tua, now he's going to speak his mind. C.J. Stroud, speak his mind. Brock Purdy, speak his mind, right? They want to throw the ball. They want to get those dollar bills, y'all. And JM says, you have not said one single correct statement. He says, let me say this for you one more time, Buck. He says, you haven't said one single correct statement. JM, first of all, welcome to the show. Glad you're here. But what have I said wrong, JM? What have I said wrong? And JM says, Barkley ran the ball just fine against Dallas without Hurts. You were also talking about a Dallas Cowboys team that was licking their wounds at that particular point. Dallas Cowboys didn't know if they're coming or going. Micah Parsons was upset doing this, whatever. But we're not here to talk about that. But yes, he did do well against the Dallas Cowboys without Jalen Hurts. You are correct. Excuse me. Pepe says the Eagles are going to regret the day they let Andy Reid go. All off season again. The Eagles players will wish they played for Andy again. I hope you're right, Pepe. Hope you're right. JM says, Hurts complained about a dozen times throughout the season with the passive-aggressive comments towards both Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni. No, JM. Now, I see what you're saying, and you can probably take those comments one of three ways, right? One, of being passive-aggressive. Two, playing into the trolls. Or three, he has a very, very dry sense of humor. I'm going to say it's going to be 2 or 3. I don't think he was being passive-aggressive to Kellen Moore or Nick Sirianni at all. I just don't see him being that type of person. I do see him having a very, very bad/dry sense of humor. I could see him trying to make like jokes and just be like very monotone, like, why'd the chicken cross the street? Get to the other side. And he probably thinks it's hilarious, but we're all like, what? It's a very, very dry, very straight level sense of humor, right? And I also think he was definitely playing into the trolls, into the media on that, like on that side. Pepe says, Nick Sirianni is going to get taught again. He's going to get taught. JM says he has terrible footwork in the pocket, as diagnosed by Greg Corsell on nearly every All-22 he has done on the Eagles. No. Go out there and watch his footwork the year before A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's year was I think that's 2022 when he came in, right? And then 2023. Watch it. He's not that bad. Not that bad. James says, listen to what Patrick Mahomes said about Jalen Hurts in the last Super Bowl that they played in. Okay, I'll go Google that. James says they use play action from under center, which Hurts cannot run. Which is right. Yeah, you're right. Derek says, what happened to your beard? I'm going bald on my beard. No, what happened, Derek, was it was getting a little too long. It was getting a little itchy. So I trimmed it up a little bit. I didn't like it. Trimmed it up a little bit more. I was like, this seems weird. So I tried to fix it. Then I looked Amish. I was like, just clean shape. Clean slate. Let's get out of here. James says he started off the season saying the offseason was 95% new and he wasn't a fan of it. Okay. And then what do? They reverted back to the old ways. I'm just saying. It is what it is. Next up, let's talk about Xavier Worthy. Let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the man that the Buffalo Bills could have had, but they traded with the Kansas City Chiefs. Guys, Xavier Worthy has had tons of growth that second half of the season, including the playoffs. So far this season, he has 768 yards, including 7 touchdowns with 3 rushing touchdowns this season. So, guys, how big of an impact do you think Xavier Worthy will be versus the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl? This postseason, guys, Xavier Worthy has been targeted 13 times, which is most on the Kansas City Chiefs so far this playoff run. He also, of those 13 targets, he has 11 catches, which is also the most on the Kansas City Chiefs as well. He has 130 yards catching and one of them for a touchdown. He averages 65 yards per game, which is second on the team behind the great Travis Kelce, which averages 136 yards per game. 68 yards per game. He has 136 yards total. To date, the Buffalo Bills game, which is the AFC Championship game, was his best game of the season. He racked up 85 yards receiving along with 6 catches. Before that, Christmas Day was his best game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he had 8 catches for 79 yards. What is great about the Kansas City Chiefs is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, guys, is great about finding the open guy. You never know who is going to get the ball, and that's what makes it dangerous for the Kansas City Chiefs and their defenses. So, guys, how big of impact do you think Xavier Worthy is going to be versus the Philadelphia Eagles? When I think of Xavier Worthy, I think of he is kind of a gadget guy, right? I kind of think he's going to get a bunch of handoffs, kind of going to get a lot of maybe some shovel passes, and maybe attempt to push the ball down the field. What I think the Philadelphia Eagles defense is going to try to do is they're going to try to eliminate Travis Kelce from this game. They are going to take the Buffalo Bills defensive game plan, eliminate Travis Kelce. Do not let him get open. Do not let him even sniff the ball at all. Secondly, I think they are going to double team Xavier Worthy as well, because we have not seen much from D-Hop. We have not seen much from Juju, and Sky Moore could potentially play. He's listed as doubtful, but he is coming back from IR, and he will be eligible to play for the Super Bowl if he is good to go. So now, I do not think Xavier Worthy will have a huge impact on this game yardage-wise. I do not think Xavier Worthy is going to go out there and get 150 yards, 5 touchdowns, break an 80-yard run. I don't think Xavier Worthy is going to have that type of impact. Now, he will have a type of impact where he will have the safety follow him every time he goes. So when the Kansas City Chiefs motion him from left to right, running a little rocket motion, you're going to see that safety start to slide over. Matt Nagy and Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs offense are smart enough to understand, hey, we see this. That's going to open up Juju. It's going to open up D-Hop. It's going to open up Noah Gray. Guys, look for a lot of motion from Xavier Worthy from one side of the field to other, and then the Kansas City Chiefs throwing to that motion side. That's how I think he will have his most impact. He will not be a lot of yardage. He won't be in the MVP talks. He may not even score a touchdown, but he's going to be that X factor on the field. Look out for that. James said, you should have left the handlebar mustache. Yeah, I should have. My wife would. My wife hates everything about this, by the way. Derek says, what's Philly's backfield ranking? I don't know what you're asking. Backfield what? Like their rushing attack? Believe they're number 1. Pepe says, Worthy's going to have 85 yards and 1 tutty. Same thing against the Buffalo Bills. Alpha Rob says, a little, I'm sure the Eagles isn't going to let him off the line without getting touched. Alpha Rob, and if the Eagles are smart, that's what they're going to do. They don't want these big long runs, slants and goes, post and goes, come and go, and like all that stuff, right? They want to pressure him, and when that starts to happen, that has to bring a guy up into the box on the line. Look for D-Hop to have a big game. That's kind of what I'm saying. Look for D-Hop to have a big game. James says, I think Juju will have a bigger impact than Worthy. And James, I think you're right. I think Juju and D-Hop will both have big games. I truly feel that the Eagles are going to be bringing a lot of pressure. They're going to try to hit Mahomes over and over and over. And it's going to be a lot of dinking and dunking to Juju and D-Hop. Just what it is. Josh says, I know this is a little bit off topic, but I think the Bills will sign Odell Beckham Jr. next season. I know you don't agree, but Odell Beckham Jr. can be a good receiver in the league. He's not too old. He sure is Devontae Adams' age. Well, Josh, let me ask you this. After being cut by the Miami Dolphins, week 5, week 6, did any team call about Odell Beckham Jr.? No. But we can discuss that tomorrow. Alpha Rob says, I don't know why the Buffalo Bills didn't rough him up. They have 5 yards to do so. See, Alpha Rob, the thought process is, yes, I want to get my hands on that guy, right? So when you are playing the game of football as a cornerback, as a safety, when you are not as fast as the other receiver, your goal is to get hands on him, jam him at the line, and give you that second, half a second more so he can't get down the field on you, right? That is your whole goal. As an offensive coordinator, when you know that you have a smaller guy, but you have a fast guy, how do you get him open, get him off the line? You put him in motion. When you put him in motion, you are probably at least 2 to 4 yards off of the ball at that particular point. Now, when you are trying to jam a guy and he's already back up off the ball, a slot receiver, a motion guy, whatever, that gives you 2 to 4 yards to really juke him, get him out, right? That is why you very rarely, I don't think I've ever seen Xavier Worthy get jammed at the line, is because he's always in motion or in the slot guy. Now if he was the Z receiver, the far outside on the line, you would see him getting pressed all the time and probably very rarely get off the ball. Let's just be honest. Guyetta Matt says, you need a job. You don't know anything about football. Okay. But yet you're here, guy. And every one of my coasts, every one of my streams, you're here. So thanks for your support, big guy. Moving on. Kansas City Chiefs offense, guys. The Kansas City Chiefs offense. This has been kind of the untold story of the NFL season, honestly, right? But guys, Kansas City Chiefs offense derailed the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Can the Kansas City Chiefs offense have success versus the Philadelphia Eagles defense? When you look at this matchup, the last time the Chiefs and the Eagles played in the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs offense looked vastly different. They were number one in nearly every single stat category, from passing yards to points per game, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This season, they are far from first place. They are mid-average at best. They are 15th and 16th in every major offensive stat category. Now let's look at the Philadelphia Eagles. In 2022, they are ranked 8th in the NFL. They had a pretty good defense back in 2022, but this year, they are ranked first, the best defense in the NFL. However, this game goes beyond the Kansas City Chiefs offense versus the Philadelphia Eagles. You have to look at the Kansas City Chiefs defense in this aspect. The last time these two teams played, the Chiefs defense was on the rise. They are not there yet, but they were on the rise. This year, I think the Kansas City Chiefs defense can really lock down the Eagles offense. Therefore, allowing the Chiefs offense to be able to nickel and dime you down the field, to able to take less deep threats, to really think about what you're trying to do. Guys, the Kansas City Chiefs offense is great. Do not let the 15th, 16th stat category ranking fool you. Patrick Mahomes is great. Travis Kelce is great. Andy Reid's play calling is great. The Kansas City Chiefs offense is going to do whatever they want against this Philadelphia Eagles defense. Whether it's run the ball, whether it's screens, whether it's a deep threat, whether it's nickel and dime you down the field, whether it's the trick plays. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to do what they want, when they want, how they want against this Philadelphia Eagles defense. Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, Bradbury, the rest of the boys do not have a shot against this Kansas City Chiefs defense. The only way the Chiefs are going to lose this game is if they shoot themselves in the foot by throwing an interception or a fumble or getting the ball punched out. It is what it is. Guys, the Kansas City Chiefs offense is the real deal. Yes, I know they're undervalued. They finally broke 30 points last week. Simple fact of the matter is the offense is the real deal. The offense is the real deal. Let's get into this buy and sell. All right, guys, so buy or sell is very, very simple. We go across the NFL landscape, we see what the people are talking about, and we buy it. Yeah, we agree with it. Or we sell it like, no, we don't really want it. Get it out of here. Put it on discount. Bada bing, bada boom. Buy or sell, guys. Buy or sell, buy or sell, buy or sell. Let's continue with the NFL, with the Super Bowl talk. And guys, there are a lot of storylines across this NFL landscape and across the Super Bowl, I should say. But guys, buy or sell. The biggest storyline of the Super Bowl should be the Chiefs chasing history. When you look at the Super Bowl storylines, guys, we are seeing Saquon Barkley's 2,000-yard season. Should have played week 18 and break the all-time record. Will Saquon finally get his first Super Bowl ring? Will Saquon do this, and this? The next storyline, obviously, are like all the refs. Who are the refs? How many flags are they throwing? Are they going to favor them? Are they going to do this, and this? Will Taylor Swift make a halftime appearance? Is this Travis Kelce's last ride? Guys, the truth of the matter is, I am buying that the biggest storyline of the Super Bowl should be the Chiefs chasing history. Nothing else matters. Saquon Barkley's MVP doesn't matter. The rest don't matter. Taylor Swift doesn't matter. Travis Kelce doesn't matter. It's all about the Chiefs' three-peat history. So, guys, buy or sell is the biggest storyline in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs chasing history. I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I'm buying it. Next up on buy or sell, guys, Bryce Young. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Bryce Young. Dave Canellis, am I saying his name right, said he's seen a shift in Bryce Young after being benched mid-season last year. And he is projecting him to have a breakthrough 2025 NFL season. So, guys, buy or sell. Bryce Young will have a great third NFL season. When you look at the past 2 seasons, guys, for Bryce Young, he has had a rough time in the NFL thus far. His first coach was Frank Reich, the mighty, mighty Frank Reich. He was fired midway through the first season. Chris Tabor took over for six games. They did one game out of 5. He was not hired in the offseason. I don't think he was even interviewed. Insert Dave Canellis, his second year, which is now his head coach going into the third year. So, guys, Bryce Young has had 3 coaches in 2 seasons. In his first 2 seasons, he's thrown the ball 911 times and sacked 91 times. Since his midseason benching, he did do a lot better. His best game to date was the last game of the season, Week 18 versus the Atlanta Falcons, having 251 yards passing, went 25-34 for 3 touchdowns. So, guys, when we look at Bryce Young and the potential of 2025 NFL season, buy or sell, will Bryce Young have a great third NFL season? So when we hear great, we have to put emphasis on some numbers, right? When I think of a great NFL season, I'm thinking of 3,500 plus yards, right? I'm looking at a winning record for the Carolina Panthers. I'm looking at a potentially battling for the division. I feel that if your quarterback has a great season, you should be doing those things. And I don't see the Carolina Panthers battling for the NFC South next season. I don't see the Carolina Panthers really competing for a playoff spot. I don't see Bryce Young throwing for 4,000 yards next season. A lot of it is because their roster just isn't very good. Adam Thielen had a hell of a season last season. They don't even know if he's going to be back. He said he still has some left in the tank. He would love to come back, but Dave's like, we'll think about it. Guys, when we look at bad organizations, when you hear bad organizations, this is what you think of. You think of Chicago Bears, think of the New York Jets, you think of the Las Vegas Raiders. You think of bad organizations. Guys, the Carolina Panthers are creeping up there pretty quickly. Now, I understand. He got benched. He was playing bad. Many people are saying, hey, you should request a trade. You should do this, this, and this. And Bryce Young just did his thing. He sat on the bench. He got better. Don't even remember. Was it Andy Dalton was the backup quarterback? Kind of did his thing. Went out there and beat the Raiders. Like I told you what would happen. Beginning of the 9-game losing streak. But Andy Dalton got in a car accident, injured his wrist. Insert Bryce Young again. He did play well. I believe he only had 2 games under 200 yards after being benched, which was a 185-yard game versus the Seals, I think it was, or something. It was a very, very low game. Guys, I am selling Bryce Young's future in Carolina. I'm selling Bryce Young having a successful 2025 season. I'm selling Bryce Young having a long NFL career. Guys, I don't want to talk down about Bryce Young, but it's easy to. The man's 5'5". The man struggles to hang onto the ball. The man struggles to find the open guy. The man struggles to really push the ball down the field. I don't think Great and Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers are ever going to mesh at all. Now, maybe if Bryce Young goes to a team that is willing to actually put in the effort to make him a good quarterback, willing the effort to really put in a game plan, a offensive of like scheme to like cater him, roll the pocket, much like the Arizona Cardinals are doing right now with like Kyler, I gotta sell it. I just do not see them being successful with Bryce Young ever think. Alpha Rob says, it's funny, everyone going to pay attention to the refs. Yeah, they are. James says, buy on Bryce. James says, I like Bryce Young. I like what he's doing. Sending him over to Cleveland. Listen, James. If the Cleveland Browns could make a trade for Bryce Young, they should. Every quarterback goes to Cleveland to die. Alpha Rob says Young should be the third year is going to tell if he's it or not. Listen, Alpha Rob, we were questioning whether he should even have a chance to be a starter last season, right? I mean, am I saying his last name right? But Coach Dave, the Panthers head coach, said, yeah, he has earned a right to compete for the starting position. That tells me you have no faith in your man at all. None. Laura says, cha-ching, I want to buy that. Laura says, send Bryce Young to the Vikings. We can make him work. Yeah, you could. You could. Derek says, I like to buy that for $1. So you're not very confident, Derek. Not very confident, are you, big guy? James says, James says, I'm thinking he'll have this best year he's had in the league, and he'll surprise a lot of people. Honestly, though, James, that's not saying a whole lot. That's really not saying a whole lot, right? He had a 3,200 yard season, then a 2,900 yard season. The best year of his career would be 3,300 yards. Hell, even a Chicago Bears quarterback can throw for like that. And James says, no, I don't want him in Cleveland. Don't put that on him. All right, guys. So next up on the old buy or sell, flag football. Flag football. Yes, I understand flag football, but we seen the Pro Bowl. We saw flag football. We saw really, really high scoring. I didn't watch it. I saw the final. I don't really care. But several NFL players have come out and said that they would love to play flag football in the Olympics in 2028. Next up on that list was Mike Evans. Mike Evans said, and I quote, if I'm not retired by that time, I would love to compete for the 2028 Olympics in LA. If you guys remember right, some flag football players said that the NFL players would not be able to compete in the flag game. I don't remember the quarterback's name, but he was quickly ousted by a lot of people. So guys, buy or sell. Should the NFL allow players to put a team together and compete in the 2028 LA Olympics? Why not? Why not? You are in the NFL. You are clearly the best at your craft. You are in the NFL. You are clearly one of the best quarterbacks, receivers, linemen, whatever in the entire world. Guys, I hated that quarterback from the USA flag team said that, oh, I'm the best flag quarterback there is. I mean, yeah, I get it, right? I get it, but at the same time, you are telling me that you're better than Dak Prescott, you're better than Patrick Mahomes, you're better than Jaden Daniels, you're better than Tua. Hell, you're better than Brock Purdy, Josh Allen, hell, you're better than Trey Lance, Matt Flynn. Like, come on, slow it down. Guys, the NFL should 100% allow players to compete in the LA games. Football is America's sport. If you do not put out in that first year and you get beat by China or Russia or Australia or Mexico or Brazil or whoever in your own sport, in your own country, that sucks. Because I am 100% buying it. I don't care if they're a bunch of backup players. I don't care if they're third string players. Put in the NFL players in the LA games on flag football and show the world that the NFL is the greatest game in the world. Show the world that we have the best athletes in the world. Show the world that we are great at what we do. So what do you guys think? Buy or sell? Should the NFL put a team together to compete in the Olympics in 2028 in LA? And Laura says buy. Make it happen. She says, I want to see JJ. I want to see Jamar Chase. I want to see Sam Darnold. Hell, just put the Minnesota Vikings front or starting 7 out there. Bada bing, bada boom. We're going to win it. That's the only championship that the Vikings will ever win, and Laura will be on cloud 9. And James says, no. James says, sell it. I don't want to see it. Don't call me no more. Don't text me no more. Sell it, sell it, sell it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it, says James. Time for some factor crap, guys. Every hour, number 2 here on manhourradio.com. Man Hour NFL live, raw, uncut NFL talk. Guys, we're live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. We do a little thing called fact and a little bit of crap. I sit on the toilet, get on Twitter, see what the people are discussing, see what the people are talking about, and I determine if it is indeed a fact or a crap. First up here on the fact or crap, guys, is we got to go back to the Super Bowl. We got to talk about potential MVP Super Bowl. We spoke about who is going to probably win the MVP, right? Saquon Barkley, Patrick Mahomes, A.J. Brown, Travis Kelce, those type of names. But those are all offensive players. The MVP is really an offense-driven award, let's just be honest. But guys, in the 2024 or 2025 NFL Super Bowl, will there be a defensive player winning the MVP? Guys, there are some big names on both sides of the ball, along with some great matchups. Let's just be honest. You have Saquon Barkley versus Chris Jones. You have A.J. Brown versus McDuffie. You have Mahomes versus Cooper DeJean. You have Kareem Hunt versus Jalen Carter. The list goes on and on and on. But I think the matchup that everybody should be watching, everybody will be watching, is Saquon Barkley versus the Kansas City Chiefs front 4. The winner of that matchup will win the Super Bowl. Let me repeat that. The winner of the Kansas City Chiefs front 4 versus Saquon Barkley, the winner of that matchup will win the Super Bowl. When you look at the past Super Bowl, guys, there have only been ever 10 defensive players to win the MVP award. In 59 Super Bowls, only 10 defensive players have won the Super Bowl MVP. The most recent was Von Miller. Alvarez Von Miller back in 2016. He played with the Broncos at that time, but now he's played with the Buffalo Bills. But regardless, 2016, Von Miller had 2.5 sacks and 6 tackles in that game. Before that, 2014, Malcolm Smith had a pick 6, a fumble recovery, along with 10 tackles with the huge upset win over the Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. Before that, a lot of time passed. 2003, Dexter Jackson, 2 first-half interceptions. 2021, Ray Lewis didn't really have a great game, but their defense held the Giants to only 157 yards total yards in that Super Bowl. Needless to say, guys, that the defensive players had to have an amazing game to even be in the conversation to win that award. So, guys, fact or crap, will a Super Bowl MVP be a defensive player this season? I am saying 100% crap. I'm saying crap. Even the last Super Bowl, Chris Jones should have won that MVP. Chris Jones had a great Super Bowl back in 2023. Back in 2021, Chris Jones had another great Super Bowl. Chris Jones steps up for Super Bowl, guys, but he gets overlooked for MVP each and every year. It is crap because these are your three people that could potentially win the MVP: Saquon Barkley, Travis Kelce, or Patrick Mahomes. In that order, 1, 2, and 3. If you're looking at a defensive player, you're probably going to go 8 or 9 deep, unless there's a blowout, unless there's another 2 pick 6 game, unless there's like 5 forced fumbles. It's going to be offensive player. So, guys, fact or crap? Will the Super Bowl MVP be a defensive player? I am saying crap. And James Frank is saying the same thing. James is saying crap. Just not going to happen. Laura is saying crap. She also says, go Kansas City. I love the Kansas City Chiefs. Go Patrick Mahomes. I'm the leader of the fan club, but she says crap. Travis Kelce's going to win this MVP. James Frank says it will either be Patrick Mahomes or Saquon Barkley. I would put Travis Kelce in there just because of the whole fan favorite, right? I forget how the Super Bowl MVP is actually voted for, but I think the fans vote for it if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember last season they popped up on the thing, you could text such and such and whatever. I don't know how much it actually plays, but that plays into it. But obviously, if it is a strictly fan vote, Travis Kelce does have the fan favorite. So guys, factor crap. Next up, DeAndre Hopkins, Mr. D-Hop himself. He's been pretty quiet this postseason. 1 catch for 3 yards. Not too great. So guys, factor crap. Will DeAndre Hopkins be the X factor in the Super Bowl for the Kansas City Chiefs? As you guys know, Patrick Mahomes is great in the Super Bowl and the playoffs. He is the best situational quarterback in the NFL. No cap there, as the cool kids say. He also seems to find the open guy and get them the ball as much as he can in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. D-Hop so far this postseason has 1 catch on 3 targets. A third-string running back, Mr. P. Ryan, has more catches than D-Hop this postseason. A backup tight end has more catches than D-Hop and Noah Gray. And 4 other receivers have more catches than D-Hop as well. But guys, we spoke about it earlier. The Philadelphia Eagles will have success if they can double team Travis Kelce and take Xavier Worthy out of the game. And when you do that, that leaves you several options. That leaves you Juju or D-Hop. So guys, factor crap. Will D-Hop be the X factor in the Super Bowl? It is 100% fact. Guys, D-Hop has been quiet. D-Hop has never played in the Super Bowl. D-Hop has never won a AFC championship or NFC championship. D-Hop is hungry, and he wants to go out there and ball out, and he wants to three-peat. That is why the Kansas City Chiefs are so dangerous this season. They're so dangerous this season is because they have a mix of a little bit of the old guys and a little bit of the new guys, right? New guys that have never won, that have never been in the playoffs, that have not won, that have not seen the Super Bowl. It may not ever be there again. They're hungry. They want it, right? Then you have the old veterans there that they've been there. They've done that. They brought these guys along and they elevated the game. They've elevated the play of everybody because they've been there. They've done that. They know what it takes. Guys, D-Hop is going to be hungry. He's going to be catching everything. Those couple drops that he had in the playoffs, throw that out the window. The 1 catch on 3 targets for 3 yards, throw that out the window. It doesn't matter. Guys, D-Hop might have 10 to 15 targets in this game. He might have 10 to 15 catches in this game. He is going to be the X factor, and he is going to be what makes that engine click on the Kansas City Chiefs offense. This is 100% fact. So, guys, factor crap. Will D-Hop be the X factor for the Kansas City Chiefs? Laura is saying fact. She loves her some D-Hop. She got a D-Hop jersey. She got the red jersey, and she's going to paint her face red with the big old number 8 on it. She says fact. Alpha Rob says crap. D-Hop has been bad all year long before he was even traded to Kansas City. He has been having a down year. Let's not get it twisted. But just the presence of D-Hop on the field, Alpha Rob, has opened up Travis Kelce. He's opened up Xavier Worthy, opened up Juju. And I'm not saying the Eagles are bad at scouting. I'm not saying the Eagles are bad at anything, but they're going to look at the stats. They're going to see him not getting the ball or getting open, whatever, yada, yada, yada. They might divert that safety over the top to Xavier Worthy, over to Travis Kelce, shift the linebackers over, give him some D-Hop, some single covers on Cooper DeJean, maybe. I'm just throwing a name out there. If D-Hop is one-on-one, give me D-Hop, even if he's been bad all year. Facts. James says, it's cool to see Hunt and Hopkins in the Super Bowl. They deserve to play a one. Still, go Birds. But these 2 guys are options. And James also says, fact, he's going to be so hyped. Listen, I think everybody on the Chiefs are going to be hyped. I expect in the first quarter that the Kansas City Chiefs are so hyped, actually, that they're going to be jumping off sides, maybe some false starts, maybe a little bit of miscues. Come second drive, third drive, going in the second quarter, they'll calm down, and they'll be all right. James Frank says, look for Hunt to be out of this world too. It would be nice. It would be nice. Alpha Rob says, D-Hop was never fast for that little speed he had lost. D-Hop was never a fast guy. D-Hop was never a speed guy. D-Hop is a possession guy. D-Hop is a get in the red zone, throw the ball up, and I'm going to get it type of guy. That is what he is there for. He is not a speed guy. He is a precision on the routes, and he gets open because he's a possessive receiver. He's a possessive receiver. And Laura says, wrong. I have a Larry Johnson jersey. Old school. I love me some Larry Johnson. Love me some Larry Johnson. Let's move on to the rest of the NFL. Let's talk about the New England Patriots. Guys, the New England Patriots did just get their new coach. Josh McDaniels as their offensive coordinator, Mike Vrabel as their head coach, and Drake Maye said in the Pro Bowl post-game that he was excited to get to work with Josh Daniels and Mike Vrabel. They have a long history with Tom Brady and the winning success. So guys, fact or crap, will Drake Maye be out of New England after next season? Either via trade, via cut, via washed up. It doesn't matter. Guys, in 2025, will it be Drake Maye's last season in New England? Guys, Drake Maye had an up and down rookie season. He started off on the bench, which he should have been. Most rookies should, right? But his first start came October 20th versus the Jacksonville Jaguars in London, where he did lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Since then, he was decent most games stat-wise, but if you really watch the eye test, he was just not very good. The offense didn't click. The running game, the New England Patriots were a very, very bad team. He did finish the season with 2,276 yards passing, along with 15 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. So, guys, fact or crap, will Drake Maye be out of New England after next season? Guys, Drake Maye was drafted in the first round by the New England Patriots last season by Gerard Mayo and the general manager, whoever the general manager was. All those guys are now out. One of the biggest things about a new head coach, why the Chicago Bears have so much turnover, is the head coach, general manager want to bring in their quarterback, right? What is happening in Chicago is they draft a quarterback, and then the next year they fire the coach, bring in the new coach. They work a year, maybe two, then we need to get rid of this quarterback, and then they draft their guy, and then they get fired. It's just a rinse and repeat cycle. Groundhog Day, right? Mike Vrabel and Josh Daniels know what they want in a quarterback. I do believe. I do believe that they know what they want in a quarterback, and we will know very, very quickly if they like or dislike Drake Maye. I don't think Drake Maye will have a very, very bright NFL career. I don't think Drake Maye will be the man, the myth, the legend that New England Patriots fans are hoping that he will be. I think it is a fact that Drake Maye will be traded to some other team this next offseason. Hell, it might even be in the regular season. The New England Patriots are nowhere close to competing for a championship right now, so why not get Drake Maye out while you can, get some draft capital for him. He's still probably better than most of the quarterbacks coming out in this draft. Maybe Cam Ward might be a little bit over him, but if there's a team out there that is needing a quarterback and they don't want to draft anybody, trade for Drake Maye. I'll give a second-round draft pick for him, maybe even a late first round pick. But I do not see Drake Maye being on a New England Patriots team in 2026. I just don't see it. So, guys, fact or crap, will Drake Maye be a New England Patriot, or will he be out of New England next season? James Frank is saying crap. Drake Maye is the future, says James. Don't sleep on Drake Maye. Alpha Rob says crap. He didn't play bad. He needs better weapons. He did not elevate the play, though, either, Alpha Rob. Now, I'm not saying every rookie quarterback needs to be held to the standard of elevating players, but in this day and age of NIL deals, playing until you're 27 in college, you need to come in there and you need to elevate your players, right? It's just what it is. Laura says fact. Drake Maye is done. He's coming to Minnesota. Seth says fact as well. What's up, Seth? He's saying fact as well. Okay, I see it. All right, guys, the last fact or crap of the day. This show is flying by. We're going to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Snoop Dogg. Guys, Snoop Dogg is hosting the NFL Football Awards on February 6th. I believe it's Thursday. Guys, Snoop Dogg is everywhere. He's on the Olympics. He's on the Cooking with Martha. He's here. He's there. He is everywhere. If you turn on a TV, more than likely you're going to see something with Snoop Dogg on it. So, guys, fact or crap? Are we sick and tired of people shoving Snoop Dogg down our throats? Guys, this is 100% fact. This is 100% fact. I liked Snoop Dogg as a gangster rapper. I like Snoop Dogg getting out there and saying F this, F that, whatever, smoke my weed until I die. Like, he was cool as a rapper. Just like Ice-T and Craig from Friday, where the hell, can't even think of his name. Ice Cube, right? But once all these people getting in like the main, like on the mainstream, like they just want to jam it down our throats. They like want to jam this hip hop culture down our throat over and over and over again. They're saying open wide and take this big old 12-inch of BBC. Like, damn. Listen, I understand Snoop Dogg has a pretty good sense of like humor. When the Olympics happened in 2024, I can't remember when the Olympics were, but him and Kevin Hart did the post game Olympics thing. The only thing that was funny about the whole thing was the horse crip walking thing, and they overplayed that so bad. Did you guys ever once watch the show? It was terrible. I bet you on the award show, Snoop Dogg's going to be trying to be all hip and cool and dab everybody, hey, what's up, man? And do a little, like, no, just get over it. Like, damn. It's like when they hire a comedian to do the VMAs or the Grammys, and they're trying to make all these jokes and nobody gets it, or it's just so freaking bad. Like, awkward, right? I'm so sick of Snoop Dogg, guys. It is a fact. So, guys, fact or crap? Are we tired of people shoving Snoop Dogg down our throats? Alpha Rob says fact. It is a fact. Yeah. 416 says facts as well. And James Frank says Snoop D-O-double-G. Nah, that's crap. He's still that dude. To see what he's evolved into from where he's been is awesome. Listen, I'm not saying it's not cool where you go from like the streets to a gangster rapper to like a mainstream media celebrity. Like, cool, it is awesome. But stop jamming it down our freaking throats. Like, damn. Laura says fact as well. And Laura says that's how everybody feels about Kansas City. They beat Kansas City Chiefs. Beat them. Guys, that is it for today. It's been live. It's been raw. It's been uncut. Been a long day. We'll be back tomorrow, guys. Bring that energy, bring that heat. Talking more about Super Bowl. Let's talk about what's going on around the NFL landscape. And tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Let me look. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow is Toxic Tuesday. So we got Mark D. We got Hoffy on Toxic Tuesday. Bring in the toxic things. Till then, guys, we out.